Hey everybody, it's Mike with Monkey Fab. You know your friends call you up and they just kind of put you in it and you're just like, you don't want to say no because it's your friends, but you really don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. So that's what today is my buddies put me in it, and I got to build a gas tank for like a Honda, and I'm not really excited about it, but we're gonna do it because I think it'll make a good YouTube video. They're already out there, so please don't contact me asking you to make a gas tank for a Honda. This is because my buddy needs it, so I'm making it for him. If you need a gas tank, go look online. I'm sure they're out there, but don't call me. Monkey Fab doesn't make gas tanks. I went into CAD and I just took the dimensions that my friend sent me that he once made this tank, and I drew out the sides. So that's got cut here. This what's going to be the sides of the tank, and because that was the way it laid out, they had a bit of room in between the middle of them. I just went ahead and cut a piece. There'll be actually the bottom slump. I'll take and bend it, and then I'll just cut some sides out to weld the sides on. But I don't like, once I peel back that vinyl from the aluminum, I don't like to just kind of like leave it, because then it oxidizes and it looks like shit. So I try to, once I peel back the vinyl, try to use as much of that aluminum as possible. You probably saw me when I was cutting it, running around like an idiot, with my hands all over the metal, and you're like, Mike, why are you being an idiot with your hands all in the way? What happens is, oddly enough, the heat generated by the plasma cutter liquefying the metal and spitting it out the other side tends to warp the metal. So why the gantry will, it'll draw out exactly what I, tell it to via the CAD and the G code. As it's running, the metal sometimes will lift or pop, even like a baking pan in an oven, and if you hold it down, then usually it's fine. It'll just cut, because it's running in straight lines. But that line, as it's going straight, if that thing lifts and starts waving, then it'll turn your straight line into a wavy line. And a good way you can go check out my video when I was making the Harbor Freight sander base, and notice that like one of my little 1-inch runners I made for the bottom of it to his feet was actually crooked, because that's exactly what happened. Was the metal was kind of laying in there crooked. Well, the metal kind of was warped itself, so as it cut, it just blended that into it. So that's why I got my hands all over the thing. Just hold it in place, make sure it doesn't pop up or warp as it cuts. So now I got the this guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of measure out what I need to make this top piece. What I want to do is I just want to make this all, I'm going to do like all my bending I think, on this top piece, and I'll just cut a flat piece for the bottom, and then all I gotta do is just weld it all together. So I found this is like 095 thou, and it is just long enough for the tank to be the top part after we make all the boop, 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 bends and stuff. And then I found this piece, it's 090, but it's a little bit rough, so we're gonna have to kind of clean it up a little bit, try to make it look nice. I have lots of 125 laying around, but it's, you know, for a race cart. And I figure, you know, what the hell, if we can use a little bit lighter stuff and you know, maybe make a little bit lighter gas tank, then who knows. Isn't that how it works on the Superleggera's? Is they just shave off a little bit off of everything, and then soon they got like a massively and soon they have like a massive weight savings, right? So we'll give it that. That's the theory we're working on. So I'm gonna cut that piece, the longer piece, right now on the stomp shear, and get it close. I'm not gonna worry about getting it perfect just yet. Just want to kind of get it close, and then I'm gonna use my magic and clean it up a little bit. found the filler cinder unit, and basically I cut the hole out on the top of this guy and notched it out so I can go ahead and get it in place and ready to run once that's going on. And I'll drill the holes for the return on this. That way, my idea is I can just drill all the stuff before I go ahead and weld it together, and that way I don't have to, you know, fiddle around with trying to vacuum and blow all the shavings out of it. So it'll be just a little bit easier. One thing I was kind of bummed about was on this guy here. You guys will see me bend this up. When I was laying it out, I thought that I had enough to bend this front down, and I must not have made, you know, an account for that when I was laying it out. guy, you guys saw me plasma cut that out. I just did it up in CAD, kind of got it close enough. You can waste a lot of time in CAD trying to make stuff perfect when you can just go ahead and hand finish it. And then I just kind of put these tabs on there, so this will hold this stupid metal backing on the back of this plate. I'll just lay it on like it is, put the bolt holes through it, snug it down, and then I'll just run a bead probably on a couple sides, just kind of stitch it in there, so that way the bolt receivers, which is on this ring, will be up underneath it, and it'll be good to go to help seal that off. And let's see what else we got going on. So I have this guy here, and I'm probably just gonna start welding stuff up now. So you know, get this guy together, start tacking this bottom box up. I'll put that guy in. I'll have to pull out. If anybody knows why my Harbor Freight booster is doing this LED dance, then you want to drop a comment to let me know. It's going to blow up in about 5 minutes. That'd be great. But it wasn't charged, so I plugged it in, and now it's giving me this crazy light. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe try to. You guys don't care. I always get on sidetracked. I get sidetracked on shit, and then you guys are like, I don't give a fuck, Mike. Look, it's still doing it. But hey, when you're obsessive compulsive like me, that's just, you're just along for that part of the ride. So yeah, we'll start tacking this guy up. We'll do this guy probably, and then we'll start tacking the pieces of the box on. We'll weld it. We'll pull all the vinyl off of that, and we'll weld the little guy, the fuel cylinder guy in the back there, and just kind of start building it. I was recording with my cheap camera. This is my cheap camera up here, and just because it doesn't take as much storage to record, because it does it at a lower quality, and you guys don't really care because all that stuff I'm probably getting all time lapse anyway, so you won't even really notice it's poor quality. But for some reason it's having trouble focusing, so I'm going to put it on the fancy ass camera and let it record. So far we got the whole other side over there welded up. We got this side going on, and I was getting to this back wrap right here, and it started heat soaking. You can see where the beads just start looking kind of like smeared, not as like, you know, kind of stacked dimes kind of look like that. It just kind of smears, and that's, and you say like, oh yeah, it's getting hot. So luckily that happened right as the cheap camera ran out of storage, so I didn't really miss anything, even though it's kind of blurry. So you're wondering like, hey, why is it getting blurry? Maybe that's why. But I'll try to keep an eye out on this, but I still have a lot of welding to do, so we'll throw you up in the cam in the tripod and keep welding. Keep on welding. So like that's it, homie. It's a fairly complex piece, and it was just like massive, so it was like long runs, used tons of filler rod to do it all up. Let's see, yeah, this guy was a little complex, had a little, you know, bit of a burn through right there, not much though, but you can see where I ran the weld in the backside, but that's holding that stupid plate on there, because you can see they're threaded in there. And yeah, it would have been a little bit cleaner had I, you know, made a bottom piece and bent it, but it's fairly lightweight since it's all like 090 wall. And it was a little different weld for me. I'm used to welding like 125, which is just a little bit thicker. It's a little more sturdy. Like right here, this is I hit it like here maybe to tack it, and as soon as I did, it just blew apart. Like the heat got in the metal and expanded away. And so I threw on another tack over here. And what I probably should have did is I probably should have just tacked in some wire, some filler rod, and tried to pull it back together. And but what really happened was I just kind of got pissed and annoyed and was like, fuck it, I'll just I'll just jam a mile of rod into this thing, and then I just kind of like washed over it with a little kind of weave thing, which I'm not very good at all, but it just it works. And at the time I wasn't, you know, get welding for a while and you don't think perfectly straight, so I was a little out of, you know, what to do. But yeah, everything tied up. We got the bungs on nice, and he's got, I don't know, 2 breathers over here, he said, and a filler, so that should be good. And then we got the sump on that guy, and you saw how I baffled on the inside, so it's got some baffling to keep the fuel from sloshing around. And it's also got that like that lip on the inside to catch fuel, so if it suddenly turns left or right or smashes on the brakes, it's kind of designed to try to keep some fuel in there. You know, there's no perfect solution, but it's it'll probably work just fine. I bet there's adequate stuff to get him doing what he needs to do. So that's it. I have no idea how this is all going to go together, because it's like 2 days of footage, and it's probably all going to be just sped up, because what am I going to tell you? I'm sanding, I'm cutting, I'm buffing, I'm drilling. So I don't do fuel tanks, like I told you. Like, I got roped into this by my friend, and you know, if your friend asks you to do something, you try to help them out, and you know, that's what friends are for. So, you know, no big deal there. But I just, you know, I don't need the liability in my life of messing with fuel tanks or roll cages or any of that stuff, so I generally don't. And so that's, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to say that, you know, that's how I do it. That's the first time I've ever done it. So I've made some standalones, like some standalone fuel cells before, but those are small. You know, you're talking like maybe a gallon, maybe, you know, a gallon and a half, as opposed to, so that thing's 20 gallons. I don't really see 20 gallons in there. Maybe 12 gallons, but you know, whatever. Those are the dimensions he put to make, so we made them. And I don't know, I hope you either enjoyed it or you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed it and learned something. That would be awesome. And if you want to help support me, you can swing by my website and check out the stuff I have to sell there, have for sale there. It's monkeyfabgarage.com, and I appreciate you all dropping by and checking out the video. And this is Mike Monkey Fab signing out.